He's looking for a high under 100. Well under 100,
But
actually.
not much.
But not much. Actually, we should, it's to be absolutely specific, according to the National Weather Service, our high in Payson today should reach 87 degrees.
I think we should try harder.
Yeah, it's hardly an inconvenience. Anyway, I'm sorry, I just wanted to be the first one to say that this
Oh,
week.
my word.
Okay, as you may know, or you may not know,
No matter
you'll find out
how
now.
hot it gets, we still have air conditioning at the Sawmill Theater.
That's right, that's
Yes.
right. Always a cool time and a bunch of hot people having a cool time.
Beat the heat in an air-conditioned seat.
There you go. Oh, I like it. Ooh. I feel a new theme song coming on. In case you're wondering what the heck is going on at KRIM this morning, as usual on Fridays, we have your hometown movie guys on Community Spotlight talking about everything going on at Sawmill Theaters. And
Remember, control is an illusion.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly is during this show. And Tina, Craig, and Andy with us. And now, Craig, we were talking just before the show. You've got a couple of big movies starting today.
Yeah, well, one big movie.
Yeah.
Big.
Space Jam. Yeah,
Space
Space Jam, A New Legacy.
And how many of these, basketball mixed cartoons sort of things?
This is the second one.
The second one?
And it's been, you talk about sequels and Hollywood.
25 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, so yeah. It's
25 years since the first one came out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, I hadn't even gotten over that one yet.
Yeah, so this is all Looney Tunes,
Right.
and a PG film, good for the kids. Yeah.
Right.
Should
And
be fun.
the first one was a big success, was it not?
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
They're fun.
This is another one of those interesting movies. It's a mix of live action and animation, and they do really a pretty remarkable job of that.
Yes. Oh no, yeah, it's getting
And the
better and
technology's-
better.
yeah.
Well, we got Peter Rabbit playing right now too, and they're doing that with the little cartoon rabbits, and,
Right.
and they look terribly real.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And how's that been going?
That's doing good. It's
Yeah.
doing good. It's probably gonna be its last week.
Is that a PG or?
It's a PG.
Okay.
Yeah, we got lots of PG this week.
Well, with rabbits, it could go R real easy, so you gotta be careful.
All
Man,
right.
where do we go next?
No,
Never
yeah.
saw you all three shut up so quick
Yeah.
in my life.
Only for a microsecond.
Yeah, so barely.
Space Jam, Peter Rabbit, and Boss Baby.
Okay,
All-
great.
all three PG films for kids, so
Right.
a lot of good stuff for the kids this week.
Very nice. All right.
And
And
all three, in a manner of speaking, are sequels. Space Jam, not quite really a sequel, but similar to the first one.
right.
But Boss Baby is Boss Baby 2, Peter Rabbit is Peter Rabbit 2.
Well, and in the first Space Jam thing, that was what, Michael Jordan, wasn't it?
Michael Jordan, yes.
Yeah. So that's been a few years ago.
Oh yeah. 25.
I remember I was covering Suns games back in '93 and '94, going down to watch the games, and back the Shaq was there, and all of those people back then, and it's amazing how many years have gone by since then. I was talking to someone the other
You've
day.
held up very, very well, I think.
The formaldehyde injections are doing quite well, but
Did you consult me on that?
no one cares about your opinion. That's anyway. You're so critical, you movie critics. Somebody. I was just talking to someone the other day.
Hi, Leanne.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I was talking to someone the other day about how the NBA playoffs are going and how neat it is to see the Suns in there again, and talked about how the first time they were in the playoffs, I was covering games back then, and this young punk said, "Oh yeah, I was in grade school back then. I vaguely remember, and I never wanted to slap someone so bad in my life, but oh well. Reality, what a
Really,
concept.
there's so much happening now to encourage you to do further.
It's why I drink a lot of coffee,
Yeah.
or whatever's in this cup. Anyway, so no other new movies other than Space Jam.
We know. Well, tonight now we do have a special presentation
Of?
of Skinwalker.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
it's
right. Now,
tonight.
and this is there's
Yeah.
local actors in this.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And it's all part of what was it? 12 movies in 12 months or something like that.
Yes.
This one.
You know what? I don't think this is part of that.
Oh, really?
This is kind of a separate one, but yeah.
I saw
But it is a western, and
I saw the trailer to it. It looks really good.
It's yes.
And
What
I'm not
time
much-
is it? 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock tonight.
Hey.
Just $5 to get in on that
All
one.
right.
Yeah, we'll have the Oxbow outfit. And,
They'll be there in costume and
yes,
all that.
yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool and it's fun and yeah.
Their guns will not be loaded.
Can I bring
They
my
may
horse?
be, but the guns won't be.
Can I
Pardon?
bring my horse?
Oh, sure. Just make sure it has depends on. But at any rate, well, that's interesting. So that's at what time tonight?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. What are the other movies playing this week, just to round out the slate?
Well, the big one we still have Black Widow.
Black Widow. How's that been
Yes,
going?
it's done great.
Really?
It's done
And
great.
nationally as well as locally?
Yeah, it did 80 million last weekend.
Wow.
So it's first
In a
3
weekend.
days. Yeah, it's first 3 days, which is still I think maybe a little bit light, but they did do the Disney Plus thing on that too. So that was one where you could pay $30 if you have Disney Plus, and then watch it at home.
Okay.
You don't want to do that.
No.
You know what? I watched some of the 3D on this. Plays at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That 4 o'clock is in 3D, and that 3D is just spectacular. I mean, it is really neat. There's a part where this big floating spaceship is blowing up and crashing back to Earth, and there's pieces flying, and there's people are jumping off the building and with guns, and it's
Wow.
just in 3D. It's really impressive.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Sounds almost as impressive as watching Independence Day at the theater here just a weekend or so ago when none of the, other than yourself, Craig, none of the other hometown movie guys were there. Sorry, I just needed to revisit that one more time. I don't get a chance to say those things very often.
It probably won't be the last time.
So anyway, got plenty of good movies playing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Fast and Furious is still there.
And that has to be raking in some major dinero.
It did. I'm sure Andy's got the numbers there.
Indeed, I do.
And what might those be?
Hi, Nicole.
But we digress. Or regress, as the case may be.
F9. This is the big winner of the slate that we have on offer.
Right.
They spent an astonishing $225 million to make it, but they brought in 547 to date.
And how many weeks has this been out?
3.
Came out June 25th.
$500 million in 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Well,
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And still puttering right along.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, these are we keep talking about this, and it's always true. These are pretty silly movies, but boy, people really like them.
A lot of truth to that.
There's they just don't make any sense. But
Well, in the words of pitch meeting, silliness is
There you go. What she said.
It's an inside joke that needs to be outside.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but this is number 9 in the series, and
Yeah.
they've made literally billions of dollars with this franchise. And for my money, Vin Diesel can't act a lick, and
Hey,
yet
don't candy coat it for us. Just tell us what you really think.
Really, but look at what he's been able to accomplish.
You know, his name is cool enough. I mean, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
I love
That's not his real name.
Sounds kind of oily to me. I don't
That
know.
is now.
Now, this is a Fast and Furious. These are popcorn movies. That's what they're meant for. You just sit back and relax and munch on some popcorn and kind of suspend reality and enjoy the movie. But Black Widow is the same thing. This is it's not a real movie. It's not supposed to be real. You can't take it too seriously, but just enjoy it.
It's a little departure from reality, and we can all stand a little departure from reality once in a while.
Oh, for sure. That's it was kind of interesting. We were talking the other day, but during the Great Depression, way back in the 20s, one of the few businesses that was
30s.
really 30s, 20s, 30s.
Way back.
Before your time.
For my time, yeah, a little bit.
Even before mine.
No, but one of the things that really did good were movie theaters. They still held together.
They had like a nickel. You could get in for a nickel or
But
something.
it was people were
it was
to
great.
escape reality.
Yeah.
People were wanting to get away from that, and
And there were
Still
so
true.
many great movies that were produced during that time, plus a bunch of really mediocre movies that were just filler, like TV.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, if you enjoy, listening to your hometown movie guys here on the radio, you can also watch them live as we go along on KRIM's Facebook Live, or
Hi,
KRIM's
Nicole.
Facebook channel. We come to you live every Friday morning, not only for this half hour on the radio, but an extra bonus half hour just on Facebook. So tune in, and we've got a few folks there following us already this morning, but there's room for more. And if you have questions for our hometown movie guys, maybe you'd like to, ask them about the average airspeed velocity of an English sparrow or something like that, whatever it might be, just chime in on Facebook and we'll do our best to try. 32. There you go. So now, when it comes to the movies that are currently playing, Andy, which ones have you seen so far?
Let's see, Black Widow, F9, Boss Baby 2, have not seen and will not see The Purge. I'm sorry that I've missed Peter Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
The first Peter Rabbit I did see, and it was a lot of fun. And this one, two of my favorite actors. Flopsy is voiced by the incredible, scintillating Margot Robbie.
Oh,
I never thought of her as Flopsy at all.
well,
I'll just leave it at that.
So
So
you are going to go to the punishment room.
he's still young, okay?
that's where I'm sitting right now.
We got Margot Robbie coming up on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
On
Oh, yeah.
August 9th.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next
She's
one there.
great.
And how many of those have they made?
This
This will be the second.
This is the second.
one. This is her as Harley Quinn. So this will be
no, it's the
the
third.
the third Harley.
Oh, the
where-
third, that's
where
right.
She's been.
I'm sorry.
The other one was Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Birds of Prey was not Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But her third appearance as Harley Quinn.
Yes.
And so what about Black Widow? How many Saw Blades did you want to? Oh, you're not done talking about this one yet. Okay.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz.
Take a breath there, Cosmo.
Well, when you got a gee whiz, you got a gee whiz. You know?
Yeah. Also playing is Domino Gleason. He plays the voice of Mr. Jeremy King. I don't know, Jeremy Fisher. Mr. Jeremy Fisher.
Oh, okay.
You remember him from the Beatrice Potter story?
No.
Oh, me, oh my. Surely you've read that to your kids and grandkids 400 times.
No, and please don't call me Shirley.
What the fluff?
Okay.
I've led
Anyway.
a sheltered life.
Anyway, so Margot Robbie and Domino Gleason are both in Peter Rabbit #2.
Okay.
Do you remember what they also appeared in together?
No.
Oh,
But I have a feeling you're going to tell us.
I am going to tell you.
Okay.
One of the most wonderful movies I've ever seen, called About Time.
About Time.
Yep. And Margot Robbie and Domino Gleason. Domino Gleason actually plays the male lead, and at that time, Margot Robbie was like a starlet. She has a small role as a pretty girl, and that's kind of all that she had to do.
Right.
But it's just a wonderful movie, and when I reviewed it, I described it as a movie about every kind of love that there is. It's about romantic love. It's about father love, and it's about
Platonic love.
and about the love of
Cheap love.
of father and son.
Oh, that's cool.
Ah, fraternal.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, just a wonderful movie about time, and I recommend that you see that as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Okay.
And and I would be remiss if I did not mention that Domino Gleason, as a younger fellow, 2005, had a small role in the first and only Isle of Man zombie flick,
I knew we'd get to the zombie thing sooner or later.
Boy Eats Girl.
Oh, okay. Thanks for prefacing that.
Yep, it's a remake, not a remake, but kind of a reconfiguration of My Boyfriend's Back, an earlier movie about zombie and true love, where true love is so powerful that it cannot be thwarted by something as insignificant as death.
Wow. This is deep. Hey, by the way, good morning
Well,
to
you think
Sandy
zombie
and Patrick.
movies are just junk, but they're not.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, they are loaded with layers, like an onion. You peel back one layer, and there's
So are septic tanks. Big deal.
they are not. It's just the same thing from top to bottom. Shame on you.
Terrible. Just making a point.
That is the worst simile I've heard all morning.
But wait, there's more. By the way, good morning to Sandy, Patrick, and Bill joining us on Facebook Live. If you have some questions for our home team movie guys, just chime in down there in the comments section, and we'll do our best to get to your questions, comments, or.
But you wanted to know about Black Widow.
Yes. What do you think of that?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a good fun.
So, and you always rate them by how many saw blades. How many saw blades would you give Black Widow?
I gave it 4, I think.
Really? That's
Yeah.
pretty, because you don't really like anyone enough to give them 5, do you?
A few.
Well, they're all zombie flicks, right?
No, two or three a year, maybe. Maybe some years there's none.
Right.
Some years nobody gets 5
It
star.
means that you actually have good taste. I'm glad to hear, we just don't give out stuff.
No.
Blanket.
But Black Widow's been out for a week, spent $200 million to make it, which is a lot of money in anybody's book, and it's brought in, as of yesterday, $220 million at the worldwide box office.
So by the end of the month, they should be well in the black.
I expect that this will be a profitable enterprise for them.
And this isn't. This is the first one called Black Widow, but it's not the first time she's played the part
No,
of
this is
that.
actually this is an Avengers film.
Oh.
This is in between the Infinity War movies.
Oh, okay.
This was like a kind of a side adventure she went on, kind of reuniting with her family.
Right. Meanwhile, over with the family.
Yeah,
Okay.
but no, this is definitely tied into all that stuff.
Cool.
And, the first Avengers superhero movie we've seen in
Since
2 years.
they killed everybody in the galaxy.
Yeah. Well, that whole Marvel was getting ready to go into Phase 4. They were calling it the next phase of movies, and then the stuff happened.
You're talking the COVID stuff.
Yeah, I don't like saying it out loud. Just call it the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff. And that really, that messed up, certainly messed up the theater biz for quite a while.
Oh, sure. Well, everything went, California went into lockdown for quite a while, so that shut down all the production and everything there also.
Right. Well, so now, Tina, when it comes to movies, you're also one of the movie guy critics here. What have you seen lately, and how did you like it, and why not?
Well, I am sadly remiss about going to the theater, but I am watching right now on Prime a really interesting Spanish series
Not to say that name.
called El Cid, which originally was a movie with Charlton Heston.
Yeah, I was going to say, a
Sophia Loren.
famous movie.
This is an amazing series, and it is. We started out watching it, and it had English dubbing, which I absolutely despise. So we played around with our TV and made it. And got it into Spanish with subtitles, which I recommend. It's a really interesting, historically fairly accurate depiction of a guy in around 1000 AD. Who did a whole bunch of stuff, took on warlords, and historically it's got a lot of connection with reality. So very good.
It's a good sword fighting.
Oh man, there's some battle scenes that are, I don't know how they did
Those
it.
guys are such cut-ups.
Yeah, really. So anyway, that is it. But I want to promote what Craig is doing tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, which is the movie Luther.
Ooh, that's right.
Which has Joseph Fiennes, who is the brother of Rafe Fiennes, otherwise known pronunciation-wise as Ralph. But that's how they pronounce it. And the interesting thing about this movie is it has Bruno Ganz, Alfred Molina, and Peter Ustinov in it, all of whom are sadly dead. Now, it was made in 2003, but this is a must-see. I mean, it's a movie, it's one of the faith-based movies, but it doesn't matter.
Based on the life of Martin Luther.
Yes, and historically very accurate.
That would make it interesting. I mean, because nailing his thesis to
Württemberg.
The whole Reformation. That's just fascinating to see. What they can do, especially like you say, if they're keeping it true to history rather than getting Hollywoodized.
There was amazing stuff that took place. So he should have been dead 100 times over, but he kept moving around, was sheltered by people who felt that he was worthwhile. He was a Catholic monk who went up against the whole huge edifice of the Catholic Church.
Which wouldn't really be advised then or now.
Yeah, and to circle back, sorry, Jen Psaki, to El Cid, they talk, a lot. It's in the 1000 something AD. They talk about Rome all the time. Rome approves of this. Rome lets you do this. We know that the Catholic Church was the political force for the whole of Western Europe, and really seeing what Martin Luther did, you seeing the selling of indulgences, which was pay me and you'll go to heaven. I mean, you know, buying your way into heaven.
I don't remember that part of the Bible at all.
Well, you know,
But
he didn't either. And
But
that
back
was
then,
super
you know,
right.
most people didn't have access to a Bible,
That's
and
right.
they only knew what they were told.
Well, a lot of them couldn't read. And it was all in Latin, and
Right.
it was only the church people who could interpret it for the common man.
Well, that was the
So-
King James Bible in like
Yes.
15.
Right,
But
15,
he
46,
translated
50,
into German first,
right.
and it took him 5 or 7 years. I mean, he was so meticulous, and he knew Latin, of course. But really, go see this movie. It's
And
fabulous.
this is tomorrow at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
10 a.m., just $5.
Yes.
$5 to get in?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I may have to come up to Pace tomorrow and check that out.
Oh, and I will be. I
history.
promise you, I will be there because I'm scheduling that. Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't then.
Okay, but Bruno Ganz is in it, and he was in The Last Days of Hitler.
Right.
Alfred Molina has been in so many really top-notch movies, and Peter Ustinov, for any of those of us
Boy,
of
what
a certain
a
age,
career he had.
he was amazing. So yeah, to see these guys at their finest in this movie, really
Good.
good.
Check that out. That
Yeah.
sounds great. All right, now we're just about out of time here on the radio. By the way, I want to say hello to those following along with us on Facebook Live. Bill, Manuel, Katie, Shane, Elizabeth, and Bobby, thanks for joining us there. If you have any questions or comments for our hometown movie guys, feel free to just chime in the comments section there. We'll do our best to get those addressed as we go along. Meanwhile, we're going to get back to more of your favorite music here in just a little bit on the radio, but we'll be staying with you for an additional half hour on Facebook Live. So we've talked a little bit about some of the...
Are we going to be able to hear Country Joe and the Fish?
You know, we might be able to. I know we're definitely going to hear from Janis Joplin, Jimmy Buffett, Prince,
I like
and
Janis
No
Joplin.
Doubt. I do too.
I saw her in concert.
Is that right?
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in the second row.
So you're really old.
I am. Big brother in the holding company, remember?
Oh, man, yeah,
She
that
was
was
with
bad.
those old boys, yeah.
She would have been an interesting gal to meet. I bet.
Well, it's a lot of Southern comfort.
Maybe in the morning.
Not even then, no,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think so.
Maybe mid-morning. I don't know. Well, anyway, so what? Real quick, while we're still on the radio here, what do we have coming in next week at the Sawmill Theater?
Next week, Snake Eyes.
Ooh.
It's a G.I. Joe thing.
Right.
Yeah, kind of a prequel on that one.
Mhm.
And then Old. It's M. Night Shyamalan.
Ooh. Easy
Easy
for
for
me
me to say.
Yeah, kind of a
That guy.
kind of a horror. Well, it's Shyamalan, so kind of a horror thing where they're these people go to a beach and they start aging really
That's
fast.
right. I saw the
Yeah,
trailer.
but
That happened to me when I stayed out in the sun.
All of a sudden, people are saying our kids are, a whole bunch older than they were an hour ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks pretty
I
interesting.
gotta
So
see
yeah,
that.
couple new ones next week.
Yeah.
You mentioned something interesting before going on the air today about that one, that they started shooting that without really knowing how they were going to finish it.
Yeah, a few weeks ago he didn't have an ending for it yet.
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It started shooting and was getting close to the end and still didn't know what the end was
Still
going to
know how he was going to
Yeah,
do it.
but
yeah.
lots of guys do that. I was telling you,
be. Oh, you know about my earlier dating life and being younger here, so I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but here we go.
Casablanca is a famous one.
Right.
The actors didn't know until the end which way it was going to go, whether Ingrid Bergman was going to go off with Humphrey Bogart or whether she was going to stay with her husband, Paul Henry, and Victor. And it was suspenseful for the actors. Yeah. So M. Night is really good. I mean the first one, Bruce Willis.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Oh,
What a movie!
What a hot gal with the orange hair.
What a movie!
He
That wasn't the
he's
one?
really had ups and downs.
Which one was that?
Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
He started out, Sixth Sense was great.
Which one was that?
Fifth Element.
Oh, Fifth Element, Sixth Sense. I mean, they're all numbers.
Signs I thought was a little overrated, but
Right.
Oh,
some
I
of the-
thought Signs
I
was
liked it.
underrated. I
Yeah,
thought
I liked-
Signs was
See?
brilliant.
See?
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting, though, how we can take a look at a movie and each of us come away perhaps with a completely different perspective?
Most
The
people, I guess,
correct
really,
one, and then there's the
And
others.
then correct.
most people I think really like Signs. I thought it was
I
completely
liked it.
okay. It wasn't bad, but
Yeah.
I think it was
Swing
overrated.
away, swing away.
By the way, good morning to Charmaine, Mary, Robin, and April all joining us on Facebook. I appreciate you stopping by.
But, A Lady in the Water, some of that
Yeah.
stuff in the middle is just atrocious. The Village,
Oh, the Village was
Village
awful.
was great.
Oh,
No, see, I like the Village.
oh,
Oh,
geez.
stop there.
Was-
Stop now.
was the-
I'm right.
That's when he started with the anti-twist. You know, The Sixth Sense had this great twist,
Right.
and then he made a bunch of movies that had they had a twist in them. It was like
So
terrible.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, it just made the movie worse. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
good at all.
Yeah, you build it up, build it up, build it up, and then it just goes flop.
But
Who needs that?
He's come back though with Glass and
Yeah,
some of
Glass
those
was good.
Well, that was really good.
Split. You know, that
Yeah,
stuff.
That was horrifying.
Well, as you can see, I mean, we all can have contrastingly different views on movies, but we all still enjoy watching them. Now, one of the things that we got to get you back to more of your favorite music here on the radio, but one of the things we're going to continue to talk about on Facebook Live this morning, we hope you'll stick around with us,
Buffalo Springfield.
is we can talk about that too. But we're going to talk about how many proteges, how many people have come out of the Disney machine to create long-time careers, and I know we were talking before going on the air today about Annette Funicello, who had a very long career even after putting on the Mickey Mouse ears and everything. And there's a bunch of others that we want to talk about too. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Meanwhile, on the radio, we got to get you back to more of your favorite music. Again, tunes coming up from No Doubt, Prince, Jimmy Buffett, Janis Joplin, and more. But right now, a look at Rim Country weather.
Take a little piece of my heart.
Okay, so now everything gets crazy
right.
because
The gloves are off.
that's right, gloves are off.
Ah, okay.
And
Now,
you're the one that brought up this
Well,
topic.
getting back to Space Jam.
Oh, but because we need to talk more about that.
Absolutely. One of the voice actors in Space Jam is Zendaya.
Easy for you to say.
Okay, now Zendaya is 24 years old. She's from Oakland. She is a Disney protege, which kind of gave us the idea here today. Most recently, and I think that we probably all have seen her in the two most recent Spider-Man movies, where she played MJ, Mary Jane, Spider-Man's girlfriend. But coming up soon, she is going to play Shanti in Dune.
Hunting.
And she is I think in her features is exotic enough to play Shanti or Chanti maybe. I don't know if it's hard to see or not.
I think if I say anything here, I'm going to just prove how completely out of touch I am because I'm not familiar with Shanti or Doom.
Oh, Dune.
Dune.
Frank
Oh, man.
Herbert.
You're not a
Frank
reader either, are
Herbert.
you?
I read the newspaper.
Oh man.
We did this one.
Frank Herbert wrote the Dune, series, and the first one, to me, was just a knockout.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
did this movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
Dino De Laurentiis.
Well, he produced it.
Yeah,
De Laurentiis
yeah.
was in
But
it.
Right.
who's the tremendously weird director from that era?
Well, there's more than one.
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah, I'm not sure who did that one.
Well, let's find
Yeah,
out.
we'll find out.
Yeah, check it out there. But yeah,
Right.
that actually I liked it. It was
It was
kind of
wonderful.
Yeah.
it was a flop, I think,
Yeah, it was a flop.
money wise.
1984. Okay. And
But David Lynch.
was it?
It was
David Lynch?
really a
It
good
was
movie.
David Lynch, and man, was he weird. And he was married to Isabella Rossellini, who is Ingrid Bergman's daughter,
And as I recall, she's kind of hot.
and weird.
Oh, she's weird too.
A little weird. Well, she married David Lynch.
Well, there you are.
Yeah,
But she's kind of hot.
she is. She
But
was
David,
wonderful.
David Lynch definitely put out some
And
really
the
off-the-wall
music-
stuff.
Music was composed by Brian Eno and Toto.
Whoa!
Oh, Toto. Oh,
Dude, yeah.
We have a new Doom movie coming up in
Right.
October.
Right?
They're finally getting that. Was it's been delayed for quite a while, but yeah, it's coming up in October. Looks.
When was the last one?
Is it what, 84?
84.
So it's
No,
been-
no, there was the
There was a-
the series.
Are they doing series?
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough.
All right. Well, so again,
Okay, anyway, in this,
Moving right
yeah,
on.
we got switched off into Dune. But Zendaya's she's been for Disney. She's been a dancer.
Mhm.
Before that, she was a model. Before she was into showbiz, but so she's been a model, a dancer, a singer. She's got, I mean, as a pop princess kind of a singer when she was in her early teens, and now she's an actress. And in Space Jam, LeBron James is the prime character,
Right.
and he's been in, I don't know, 4 or 5 movies.
It was sure sad to see the Suns, just take them right out of the. Obviously, tongue in cheek.
Sad for whom?
Not for me.
Yeah, me neither.
So
Yeah.
LeBron James has been in 4 or 5 movies, and Zendaya has only been in 4 or 5, 6 movies. Just a few movies. But out of all the movies that there are, they worked in the same movie in 2018.
Oh, wow.
They both did voices in a movie called Smallfoot, which is kind of a kids spin-off thingy about a Yeti that had little feet. Yeah, I mean, kids movies.
Yeah, but what an interesting underlying theme, though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And let's spend a couple $100 million making that one.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about Smallfoot.
Yep. Okay. So anyway, she's been an actress, a model, a singer, and now she's big in the movies. I mean, big enough to play a pivotal role in Dune. Okay, that's how big a deal she
Work your
is
way up.
now.
Right.
But she's not the only one in history
But wait, there's more,
that has kind of climbed the Disney ladder to success.
right?
Well, yeah, Kurt Russell.
Man.
is-
He was a Mouseketeer.
He was
Actually, he was in something.
he
I
was a
looked at.
child star.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Goonies.
Matter of fact,
that's right, Goonies.
born March 17th, 1951.
Right.
Kurt Russell is an American actor and producer. He began acting on television at the age of 12 in the Western series The Travels of Jamie McFeeters. That was 1963 and 64.
Right.
That was a Disney deal.
And in the late 60s, he signed a 10-year contract with the Walt Disney Company, where, according to Robert Osborne, he became the studio's top star
Yeah.
of the 1970s.
Right.
So there you go.
So, circling back for a moment to Dune of 1984, I just want to mention a couple people who were in it. Kyle MacLachlan, who was in Twin Peaks,
Yep.
with David Lynch directed that, and the sadly flawed but wonderfully talented Sean Young. Sean Young was in Blade Runner, and one of my all-time top 10. And
Who is it?
It's either the good, the bad, or the ugly.
she wasn't in that, Okay, and then Virginia
But
Madsen.
Sean Young played
Yeah.
Shanti.
Yeah,
Who
right.
will be the role that
Right.
is.
What's her face?
And then Sting. Sting was in the 84 movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Patrick Stewart, who later went on to be
With Star Trek and
right.
stuff.
And Brad Dourif, who was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He was the guy who killed himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just
That,
a
matter of
lot-
fact, it's one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Oh man! And then Linda Hunt.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, who played
The Shout Out Mapes.
Yes, she also played in Silverado.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
hero.
another one of my
But
top
the
10.
Year of Living Dangerously
Dangerously.
was the it movie for her. She played a man, and nobody even knew she was a woman. She was so good, and
Wow.
they took place in Indonesia, and it had Sigourney Weaver and Mel Gibson. That is again one of my top 10. I have like 100 that are in my top 10. but I mean, that's an amazing movie.
Well, one of the very first to really come out of the whole Disney machine, Annette Funicello.
Yes.
Again, she was born in 1942. Passed away in 2013. An American actress and singer, Funicello began her professional career as a child performer at the age of 12. She rose to prominence as one of the most popular Mouseketeers on the original Mickey Mouse Club. As a teenager, she transitioned to a successful career as a singer with the pop single "O Dio Mio."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She sang in a
First name initial was another one.
Yeah.
And Tall Paul and Pineapple Princess.
Yeah.
I don't know of any of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
I'm just-
Pineapple Princess is the only one I can recall.
Yeah.
Anyway, as well, she established herself as a film actress, popularizing the successful beach party genre alongside co-star Frankie Avalon.
Yes, sir. Fury.
Yeah, and those,
Yeah.
now, when I was, like, in high school, I mean, this was long after those movies had first come out, but I mean, we were always at our youth group together, and I mean, those movies stayed pretty popular for a long time. Probably a little out of touch with kids today, but we used to dig it back in
Yeah.
the 60s and 70s.
So it is kind of fun to think about going to the beach with all of that hairspray. The big towering hairdos.
Oh,
that they
yeah.
have.
Oh no, I'm falling!
Right? And then another one, and really she needs, I think, to be, I'm going to put a little word here, she needs to be prayed for. Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato was a Disney star who has transitioned. She's very talented, sadly very confused, doesn't know what gender she is, and wants to be called they. So, yeah.
That sounds like a...
Yeah.
The big one we got to look at, Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
Man, and what a...
Yeah.
I mean, that's been that's not, for me anyway, it's been kind of a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
Because the whole Hannah Montana thing was, certainly nice and wholesome and all of that, but it's gone a lot of different directions away from wholesome since. Which, maybe I'm just living in a dream world. But.
Well, whatever you think.
grew up.
I mean, yeah, as far as being successful, though, she's probably the most successful of the
I
Disney
agree.
the Disney kids
Right.
Yeah.
that has come up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just...
She is the daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
You
Who
know.
I also...
Right.
And another singer than
Selena
Selena Gomez.
Yes.
Oh, Selena Gomez, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, she's made quite a career.
Yeah.
And also transitioned to an actress.
Yes.
Through music and
And Ryan Gosling.
I didn't know
Wow.
that.
He was. Yeah.
He was a Mouseketeer?
But he was a Disney
Oh, Disney Kids?
kid. Right. He's very, very talented.
Real quick, I want to say good morning to Noreen, Anthony, Ned, and Tom watching us on Facebook Live. Thanks for
Hi,
joining us.
Ned.
And by the way, if you have any questions for our hometown movie guys, like, what the heck are you thinking anyway, or whatever your question might be, feel free to chime in on the comments section here. Interesting. You brought up some names here that I didn't even realize.
Ryan Gosling is a pretty doggone big star.
Yeah,
He
I didn't
is.
realize that came
He's
out.
not probably not as rich as what's her name, Kylie Cyrus.
Miley, yeah.
Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Nobody.
Well, he probably wears more clothes on stage, too.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
nobody's as rich as
Right.
Miley Cyrus.
Right.
I don't know. Miley and her dad both. I just, there's a heck of a marketing machine behind them, and I'll go ahead and respect that a little bit. But I don't know. I kind of file it under some people that do anything for money.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people won't do pretty near anything for money.
Oh, yeah.
Just-
Are you cynical?
No, it's just
I don't know. Give him $20 and let's find out.
No. Give me 200 million.
Yeah.
All right, so he's not a cheap date anyway. Okay.
What is that line, what one British Paul said to the other,
We've established what you are.
what you are, but we haven't established
The
the price.
price.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I love British politicians.
What's with the prime minister over there? Has anyone told him about this new thing called a comb?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry. I
He
digress.
is such a sad case.
It's an interesting case.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth.
Back in the late